That's
Yeah.
when it happened.
Yeah.
It could have been when he was meant to.
It might, yeah, it could be.
Yeah.
But there he is, standing strong.
Yes.
And this is probably one of the coolest kits that I have seen in any game at any point. But before we even get into that part, I just want to talk about the way he looks. He's got, you can see, like, I guess, like the futureness of the realm, but still kind of retaining some of what we know.
So in the future, we kind of envision for the realm is the corruption was something that kind of started slow and escalated over time. So technology was allowed to kind of advance along still pretty aggressively. So Atlas does have access to some technology and tricks that may not be available in the current age of the realm, but not far off either. And at a certain point, even with all this advanced weaponry and ability, that the corruption still manages to overtake everyone in the realm, paladin and magistrate alike.
So, like I said, new frontline. I mean, I guess you could kind of imagine he's really big. Normally,
Yep.
big doesn't always translate to frontline, but in this case, it does
Yeah.
at least. He's coming through. He's got some really awesome armor, and we get to talk about it. You can see he has 3950 health there, but I think his base is 3500.
That's correct.
Right?
He's got
And
some
so
cards right now.
he's going to be
boy.
sitting there. He's got some augments going on for this one, and we get to go through all of his abilities, his weapons, and his talents. But first, we're going to look at the chrono cannon, the thing you see on the right side of your screen. So, Charles, why don't you just talk to us about what this weapon is and how unique it is?
Yeah. I guess, so speaking of like the 2-ton gun arm in the room, Atlas's in hand is the chrono cannon. And it's a very interesting weapon. It's very unlike a lot of things we've done. And a small anecdote, we have been sitting on this gun for like over a year in terms of like we wanted to put this in the game for a while. Because like a year and a half ago or something, like Massey, one of the programmers, was like fixing a bug with Kinessa, and he got into the state like 10:30 or something at night. We were all there, and it was just like he just fired a shot and blew out all her ammo like in like a really, really fast burst, and it like spread out like a shotgun, and it was really cool because their traces like last a while, so it like lingered, and they were like, whoa, this is really cool. We gotta put this in somewhere. And like a year and a half later, it's like, oh hey, Time Boy.
Yep. Also, the only true gun arm in the game.
That's right. Dude, I love it. I love how thick and meaty it feels. I could have chose better words.
No, I think that was a perfect description of it, although maybe, you know.
Garrett just died.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Impressively huge.
This
Charles.
is what happens when I get on camera. So yeah, this is a very different weapon than what we're used to. So if you notice there, like Kevin's just like tapping it right now, and it's like doing like a big burst of shots, 15 shots actually, each one dealing about 60. So doing math, it's like 900 damage total if you land all those shots. But as you can see, it's pretty inaccurate, and it's not exactly got like the best fall off. But if you noticed, when he started like clicking it a little bit, it was actually, the crosshair was actually zooming in a little bit because this is a charged up weapon. It's not exactly like Imani or Shaolin in terms of the charge up functionality, but essentially what happens is the more you charge it up, the more accurate it's going to be, and it's going to fire fewer shots. And there are like 4 different like fire modes essentially, depending on how long you hold it. First one's the one we saw right there is just like a big blast, 15 shots. Next one's 10 shots. Next one's 5 shots. And the last one, if you hold it all the way, is a super powerful 900 damage single shot, which I guess if you headshot, it's like 13 hundo. It's not much, you know. Yeah, so this weapon is one of the more challenging weapons in the game. It has a lot of potential.
Yeah.
You can like, its best DPS is up front, like face-to-face combat with another front line where you're just tapping it. But if you choose, you can invest a lot of time to charge it up and try to poke someone at range, depending on like how long you want to hold it. And it does fire automatically, so you can't exactly like hold it like and pop out and just do a big burst like Shaolin or Imani. You've got to be very careful with your timing. If they duck behind a corner before you're fully charged, too bad.
And if I remember, so it's like a 1.5 second charge time on that, like that big burst shot?
That's right, 1.5 second total charge time and a 0.9 second post-fire time. So really the DPS, it only gets worse the more you hold it.
Yeah.
And if you notice, his reload is actually him rewinding
Yes.
the bullets back into his gun, which
Yes.
is
Yes.
such a cool touch.
Dude, there's so many cool touches on this gun. I love it.
Yeah.
So
sorry.
he never actually has to go out and find it. Like I guess other
Nope.
champions, like Shaolin, is going after the battle. He's having to go pick up every single arrow he
Just
filed.
reuses
That
it over and
Not when you
over.
control time. You
I was just like,
rewind
I'm
the
just gonna
bullets.
broop right back into it, and that is, I guess, like the first one like detail of what's going on. He's also got some other amazing abilities. And I kind of want to talk about his alt fire first. We'll get to see it in game in just a little bit, but It is called Setback. And what exactly does it do?
So
This one's fun.
with the sort of like time traveler, like we wanted like almost all his powers to like be time related in some way. And so Setback is the sort of, you know, like classic time manipulation fantasy, rewinding somebody. So basically what happens is he'll like do a little, his gun will like charge up and like shoot out this sort of ball of time energy, and when it like hits somebody, they are rewound back to where they were 4 seconds ago, and their health is lowered to whatever lowest point it was within that 4-second period. Yeah, there you go. And they will like take the path that they traveled. So if they like did some like, you'll actually like, you'll see it on a little bit later, but from their perspective, it's like they are literally being like, like they're rewinding like video footage or something from what they just saw. And it's really useful tool for controlling a fight. If you like start out a fight really early, you want to like, okay, I want to send this guy back a little bit, maybe, you know, make this a 4v5 for a little bit, make them have to catch up to like, you know, reset the fight again. Or if you see someone escaping, you can be like, no, you come back and we're going to finish you off. But you have to be careful about it. You can't just like throw it out willy-nilly, because sometimes like in the middle of a fight that's been going on, it's not going to do much. It's just like, oh, you moved me like 5 feet. Oh, well, I guess you wasted an ability.
And that's one of the things. Being able to retain where someone was 4 seconds ago is going to be, I think, another level of play for somebody to be able to make this work. But the one thing I think that kind of catches my eye, and this applies for this as well as the next ability, or his first ability, but that is that anything, like if you're mounted, you don't get remounted. You just go back to where you were then. So a lot of it is going to be playing with positioning.
Yes, just wanted to another anecdote. First time Garrett played this champion, he did the scummiest thing. He like got master riding. He ran straight to the point, waited for someone to show their face, and rewound them all the way back to base.
So good. Well played.
Yes. I'm glad I'm rubbing off on him.
That is a Charles play.
But that is going to be his all fire. And the next ability, his first ability, is called Second Chance, which is very similar to his alt fire, except it affects himself, and instead of going to the lowest, it goes to the highest.
That's right. So Second Chance, he rewinds himself. And actually what you see on screen is very similar to what the enemy is seeing when they get hit, but a little different. Essentially what happens is you are rewound about 4 seconds back in the past to where you were, and just like you said, it resets your health to the highest value was in that point. So if you're like, you know, brawling it out on the point, and you know you've been there for a while, you can use it as like a health reset button, and you know, just like keep on going from there. Or you could do some tricky stuff, like one of my favorite things to do is like, you know, I see someone like trying to back off and retreat behind a corner or something, like just run up there and shoot them in the face, and I know I'm vulnerable, but I can just rewind and go straight back to the point, no problemo.
I can already think of some, with one of his talents, having Second Chance and Setback, being able to potentially run up, reset, then reset yourself. So you dismount them, even though you dismount yourself, you send them way back. They have to walk of shame to the point, and then you're set, you're perfect, you're happy. But that is, you know, I guess rewinding an enemy, rewinding yourself. Time isn't just rewinding people. There's also the ability to kind of slow things down, and that's where his second ability comes in. It's called Stasis Field.
That's right. So Stasis, oh, Kevin.
Ooh.
Oh,
Gave me a little heart
Kevin
attack.
on us there. Yeah, so Stasis Field is his ability 2 is Q. It basically erects a a decently sized, like Fernando shield size wall in front of him, and it is by far one of the like most flavorful abilities ever, I think. So it behaves a little differently from our other shields. It doesn't just, you know, get hit and then, oh, the thing is like gone. What it does is it will like slow down whatever gets shot through it, and pretty much nullifies like its, you know, offensive capabilities. So like those Cassie arrows, you normally can't see them because they're so fast, but here you can just see them. It's like whoosh in there, and the sound stays on it, so you can kind of get that weird sort of eerie feeling from them, and it's really dope.
This ability really makes him feel like he has actual control over time, which is awesome.
Yes, yes.
This was one of the ones that I've gotten to hear about every single time, but I've never actually seen it in game, and that is an incredible feat. Because I was actually making a joke about this earlier, where it's just you finally get to see what like Cassie's bolts look like, or what a bullet that's going flying by. So you get to actually maybe enjoy.
Yeah, the Grover axe is amazing.
As
So
they come
good.
through.
But dude, like one of the coolest parts is like even bullets. Like Victor, like Roland made a really cool bullet effect that like shoots through it. So it looks like the little thing just like sort of like slows down and like drops. It's really cool.
And so, like other deployables, it seems like this is obviously coming up in front of them. But do you get to place it, or is it just when you hit Q, it goes up in front of you?
It just sort of like is placed in front of you. It's very similar in logic to Barrack's shield.
Makes sense. The way things are going, there's going to be the slowdown. And this is probably, again, I think I've said this